All right. I have to stand corrected. Right? I had no idea. Right? And I went back and checked because somebody left a comment in one of my videos. Right? And you got to own up when you make a mistake. Right? But just cleaning my screen. But apparently, right? Apparently, there was a biography in MK9, right, about Cyrax's racial heritage. Now, I swear to God, he sounded Jamaican, right? I don't know why. I just didn't think anything of it. I just do sounds Jamaican, right? Anyway. Now, it says here, he goes, he's a skilled Motswanan warrior. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is a Motswana? Right? Like, I never heard of Motswana. I've heard of Botswana. So I looked it up, right? And apparently, I'm looking at the wiki over here, right? It says here that the Swana, Batswana, singular Motswana, are a Bantu ethnic group native to southern Africa. Right? So, a Motswana is a singular person. Like, I'm confused. Right? Little confused. Right? Because why wouldn't you just say they're Botswanan? Right, they're from Botswana. Why wouldn't you say Botswanan? Anyway, so I thought he was Jamaican. He sounded Jamaican in my head. Right? And I haven't played the story in a long time. So I just thought he was Jamaican. But he's obviously not Jamaican. And that's fine. Right? He can be a Motswanan from Botswana all that he likes. It doesn't change the fact that they gender swapped this dude. Completely. Now, if you look at his biography, right, and this is one of the things I appreciate about the old days of Midway, and I know it was under the NetherRealm banner, but this was a Midway game, right? They don't sit there and talk about him being the perfect warrior, like I did in the Sector video. There's no, like, perfect, top of the class, any of this sort of shit. All it says is that he is a skilled Motswana warrior. Cyrax relies on his natural fighting ability, his chi, to carry out Lin Kuei missions. He's proud to serve. Right? So, there's no, like, dick rubbing going on with Cyrax back then. I swear to God, he still sounds Jamaican in my head, but whatever. I'm sure all the races right? That's not the main issue here, though. Right? It's not the main issue that he's black either. Right? It's the fact that they have gender swapped a character and then turned her, like Sector, into the perfect woman. Right? And I guarantee you, almost guarantee, right, that when we get into the story of this game, it'll be like, oh, all the men are bad and the women are going to fix it. That's why they put Sector as a female in charge of all the armory. And that, like, her mother was like the greatest warrior of all time. And then we have the same thing with Cyrax, right? Just a prodigy, like just absolute perfection. But when you read the Cyrax, actual Cyrax, not Tampax version, actual Cyrax, right? They just say he's a skilled Motswanan warrior. Botswanan, that's freaking me out, right? Why have two? I don't understand. Anyway, right. So, this is why, right, with these two women, these two characters that they've gender bent into two women for no reason. It's because they're using the DEI playbook. They're going, it's a new timeline, we'll do whatever we want, right? Nobody cared that he was black or Jamaican. Don't have a Jamaican character. We don't actually. We don't. right? We could have had these male iterations because we have male iterations of both Scorpion in cameo and main, Sub-Zero in cameo and main, and Kung Lao in cameo and main. But they didn't do that. They took away key moves and stuck them on the bitch bench character, right? And so in this instance, because people have been screaming for more women in the combat packs, which I'm all for, by the way, they decide to gender bend these characters. So the leaks of the story were true about the wedding, about them gender bending the robots, and they're not even robots anymore. They're just iron women. And the issue, the main issue too, is they are copying Marvel Wakanda shit, right? Now somebody else made this comment, right? I'll give a shout out. I might be able to take a picture of it, right? Because I actually thought this was a really, yeah, I'm gonna load it up in the video. I'm gonna load it up in real time, right? Because I actually thought this was really interesting. This was a great comment, right? There we go. We'll save that. Hang on, I'll just call it. There we go. Right. So let's load up this comment, right? Because this is really interesting. So this is the comment right here, right? I'll put it down here, make it nice and big. Right. This is the comment. And I'll move it up there. There we go. And this is by a guy called Anthony Bulgarino. Not whatever. Hey, Ant. He goes, what is funny is that none of all the Asian characters like Shang Tsung, Kung Lao, Sub-Zero, Melina, or Katana are talking with a thick Asian accent like Cyrax. And in fact, from memory in the trailer with Sector, she doesn't have a thick accent either. I think Liu Kang is probably the only one that has a marginally thick Asian accent, right? But every single, and this was like somebody I think left a comment in a previous video. I was scrolling through the comments on X. It's like, why do they always associate these black women to tribe-like type mentalities, right? Listen to the way Tanya sounds. Listen to the way Cyrax sounds, right? And then they tie them directly to Wakandan type shit, like first female warriors, you know, Wakanda. Same with Cyrax, right? They do that. Tanya was that. Cyrax is and this is an interesting point. Why did they change the location? Right? Why did they change it from Botswana for Cyrax? Right? Now that we've all established that I was incorrect, even though I still hold the torch for a Jamaican one day in Mortal Kombat. Thank you very much. Right? Although, I don't know. I mean, maybe they could do that with Kai, I suppose. But see, I've always advocated for, like, some of these other, like, characters to come back from MK4/3D era as well. Kai would have been a perfect example of a character coming back in the modern day. Right? But what's interesting, right, because I know you guys like to talk about your racisms and stuff, NetherRealm put Jax and Darius on the bitch bench. Right? So who's the real racist here? Right? So it's interesting how when they have characters from Africa or are leaning in that direction, or black, they are like, oh, it's got to be absolutely instant thick accent outside of Jax. Right? And that's for the two women so far that they have now retconned or changed to suit Marvel Wakanda styled shit. You can't tell me that this stuff is not heavily leaning into this whole Wakanda, you know, fantasy land that comes from Marvel Comics. And it bugs me because they can't even come up with their own original story. That's what bugs me too. They have to just copy, right? Everything's a joke. That's why Johnny Cage, he's like the Marvel joke character. He's always going to be the one cracking the jokes. Yeah, Johnny Cage has always done that. No, actually. If you go back into the early days, yes, he's a Hollywood superstar. But he was more arrogant than just some dude that made jokes all the time. That's the difference. They changed him once they were able to allow him to speak in the capacity that they do with cinematic storytelling, and turned him into just basically the dude that cracks jokes, right? And I know some of it we get a little bit in maybe the movies and stuff, but Johnny Cage was more, he was more worried about, you know, he's like, everyone tells me I'm a fake and I need to prove that. We don't have that anymore. What happened to that? Now he's just the dude that cracks jokes, right? And it's just crap. This whole game, crap. Anyway, right? But that comment by Ant is actually very true, right? Why is it that they don't do that? You know why they don't do it? Because it sounds racist. That's what they'll say. They'll be like, oh, you can't sit there and have them talking in some thick Asian accent because it sounds like a mockery, right? And yet they do it to black people. They do it to both Cyrax and Tanya. Just saying. So no, I thought there was no indication in the game at all about his heritage. I was wrong. Should have been Jamaican because it still sounds like it in my head, but whatever. Regardless of that, thank you for those that brought it to my attention. I apologize. But I am interested why they changed the location from Botswana to Niger. That is a very specific change. Of all the places in Africa, why didn't they keep that the same? Why did they specifically change it to that? What are they trying to do here? I don't know. Anyway, catch you next time.